must be about blind as hell. I really did not see that. Wow. Hey, everybody. Just hanging out for now. Later tonight, we're planning on doing some Jackbox games. Right now, I'm gonna fiddle around with some SimCC. And like, yeah, I honestly, the last few streams have gone so like, you know, kind of everywhere in like a way that I think is actually kind of cool. And so I just decided to kind of turn them into sort of chatting streams where I just kind of do whatever. There's no promises of what exactly will occur on the stream, but we'll get to hang out and talk, play some games, have some laughs, maybe read a couple of wild fanfics or fan comics. Whatever happens. Now, what am I trying to do here? Oh, right. I need to get Oh, that's much bigger than I thought it was going to be. Huh. Now, you know, that autistic girl, I thought about you this afternoon because I saw some, like, legitimately very nice Stony fan art on Tumblr. It was like them sitting under the stars. The stars, in particular, were the beautiful, like, it was just well drawn, but the way that they got the layers in the night sky was really pretty. Let's see if I can find, I'll pull it up in a second. Let's see, pastel ball. Or is this 4? I think it's a wall. Five. Yeah, save it as no. Save it as PNG. I meant to save that as a PNG. Save as. Gay sandstone. 14. Anyway, let me pull up that Stony fan art. Like, look at that, the detailing on the night sky. And this is legitimately a very cute picture. There's a close-up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's cute as hell. Look with some memes about Twitter. Yeah, we can hop on Twitter in a second. It's still... Every Disney Channel original movie must have a queer in a closet made of glass, a mean blonde. Yeah, didn't I not say Stony? Yeah, I was saying that I found some nice Stony fan art. that's a good point. If Twitter's down, how do we check to see if the other social medias are down? Because I mean, the second that I thought, the second that I thought that that an app is going down, I go to Twitter. I wish Elon had bought Teams. That's fucking hilarious. Everyone's posting ass like it's the first week of the pandemic. I have been posting ass this entire time. If Twitter goes down, catch me in the town square shouting, "Hear ye, hear ye." Going into a DaBaby concert because I need some alone time, and I know nobody else will be here. And on top of everything else, Fingy's cold. I mean, it's fine for him to be your favorite character, but he has done a lot of, you know, legitimately criticizable things. And whenever I see him, I don't see a dad. I just see another white guy who gets away with stuff and has a lot of defenders just because he's rich and white. And I just genuinely don't find him to be the most interesting character in the MCU. Like, he's just kind of, I don't know, he's boring, he's arrogant. He's not my favorite character. Nor is Steve, to be quite honest with you. He's a little self-righteous for my taste. I prefer some of the more background characters. Like, I'm way more invested in, like, Scarlet Witch and Black Widow and... I mean, not really Hawkeye anymore, although I did like him in the first movie. But, I mean... My favorite thing about this picture of King Charles is that, like, it was, like, they tried to, you know, they made the portraits as good as possible, so he was probably 10 times uglier than this. Oh, also, did y'all hear DaBaby about DaBaby? He's been walking around a cheesecake factory trying to literally give his tickets away for free, and people still aren't taking them. Oh, hey, Frizz Jam. Yeah, we're just kind of talking about whatever. I'm looking on, right now we're looking at some Twitter memes about Twitter shutting down, supposedly. Exactly. I don't feel bad for DaBaby at all. The Alphabet Mafia got the last laugh. They sure enough did. They sure enough did. I mean, not only was he saying that crazy shit about gay people, but he was also talking crazy about Meg Thee Stallion. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god. Look at that cringy ass joke that's apparently in the new Santa Claus show. Meg and Lizzo. The ancestors got them because every time somebody tries to talk crazy about them, they have their downfall like immediately afterward. Remember when Kanye tried to talk crazy about Lizzo, among other things? Exactly. Meg literally minds her business. And yeah, Lizzo, it's like they are genuinely not like often. It's so wild that they are so often in people's mouths despite usually not being in the center of drama, usually not like doing anything. And so it's like, you know, y'all are always trying to pick a fight with somebody who's just minding their business. And then you get embarrassed. So, like, look what happened. Yeah, literally, she just exists and is like happy with herself, and people will say some wild shit like, she's glorifying obesity. Like, how can you say somebody is glorifying obesity just by existing? Like, and not hating themselves. They will literally say that to any fat person who has the audacity to exist and not hate themselves. And they only ever say that shit to fat women or fat people in general because who's that Sweetie who literally eats like garbage, like literally go on TikTok and eat the most like unhealthy junk food combos in existence, and it's like whatever, it's her life, she can do that if she wants to, but nobody's under her comments like you're promoting unhealthy eating because she's skinny. Yeah, that's exactly it. They do not want us to exist. I mean, that is how bigotry works, basically. You will either conform or cease to exist, and those are the only things that we will be happy with. Yeah. Kind of like that, actually. It's kind of fun. It's kind of funky. Yeah, and the care about your health thing is absolute bullshit. These people are not doctors. They don't know anything about how weight or like health work. Like it's not even a little bit believable that they care about your health. Because it's like, first of all, why would you care about the health of a complete stranger? I mean, like, why would you give a fuck? Somebody left a comment on my spam like yesterday. I think it was like, are you planning on going on a diet anytime soon? And it was on a video about like cats or something completely unrelated, and you know, I just blocked it immediately. But it's just like, A, if you think that hurts my feelings, like it's my first moment on the internet, I don't know what to tell you. But B, like, the fact that you thought to comment that, like, why do you even care what somebody else looks like? I mean, why would that even be something that, like, I do not look at other people and I'm like, man, I need to tell them to live more healthy or whatever. I don't look at strangers at Walmart or something and go like, you know, I gotta tell them if they're healthy or not. Like, who cares? Man, somebody made a tweet yesterday that was like, they were like, open relationships are for people who can't stop their partner from cheating. I don't care. And I'm just like, A, who asked? Like, why? Like, why do you care? Why do you care? Give me a single reason that you should care about that. I don't approve of how other people are living their lives, and I need everyone to know it. Like, getting a few funky wallpapers. Oops. Let me swatch. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I just, like, why? I just even don't even understand why there's discourse about open relationships. Like, back when I was more conservative, then I guess I was a professional, mind other people's business. But, like, now it's so much more freeing to just not give a fuck what other people are doing with their lives. And, you know, when it comes to their relationships, like, if it works for you, it works for you, that's fine. I mean, my partner and I's relationship dynamic is, you know, different than the kinds that I was raised around and isn't understandable to everybody. But, like, yeah, those of you who comment often, I recognize your usernames. By the way, if anyone's on AO3, I'm working on a fic. Wakanda Forever AU with Namor and Shuri. By the way, I recently found out my partner used to watch porn for the plot, and I'm genuinely, I find that so adorable. They are so autistic. Hello, Sunny is everywhere. Awesome. I'm seeing it for the second time tomorrow. For the plot, yes. Thanks for the sub, Lauren Morton. Yeah, because I was right. Like I said, I was writing my fanfic, and by the way, let's see, it's a Wakanda Forever AU. That's my handle on AO3. But anyway, so I was showing it to him. I was just letting them read it and be like, hey, you know, what do you think, or whatever. Give me some thoughts. And it, you know, it opens with a spicy scene. And so they read it and they were like, well, when I watched porn, I used to start with, I wanted there to be more of a story. Like why was everybody getting stuck in washing machines? I wanted somebody to explain that. And I was like, that is so fucking adorable. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the thing about the smut fix. Yeah, like my whole thing, and then some people were like, "Oh, well," and some my friend, I was talking to my friend Weaver, and I showed them that was talking about that, and they were like, "Well, I mean, it could be worse," and they showed me a list of like the terms they'd seen in fanfics, like meat flaps and turgid meat rod, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the opposite extreme, where that's just gross and weird. I don't ever want to hear flaps or any of that. I don't want to hear whole. None of that. Throbbing manhood, like, unless I'm reading a period fic like Game of Thrones, please don't. So there's definitely another extreme, but I feel like for a lot, like yesterday I was reading a smut fic. It. Listen, life is too short to have shame. Life is too short to have shame. It's one of those things. It's like my Tumblr. My AO3 is like my Tumblr, where I don't openly, actively promote it a whole lot, but like, you know, it's not a secret either. It's just not something I talk about a ton. But I mean, I'm still like interested. Like, I want people to feedback on my writing, because I mean, I think I'm a pretty good writer, but I haven't written a fic in a while, and I'm kind of just trying to get back into writing, and so I just kind of want to put myself out there. And meat rod, yeah, no, but anyway, so I was reading a spicy fic, and it was like, it was really poetic and like a nice slow steamy build, and then it was like her cunt was dripping, and I'm like, like, took me right out of the moment. Embrace the cringe. Exactly. I was showing it to my friend Charlotte. I was just letting her read the first couple chapters, or not even chapters, like the first two paragraphs, and she's like, "It's fan." I was like, "You feel like it's too corny?" She's like, "Well, I mean, it's fan fiction, so fanfic is kind of inherently corny." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's true. As long as as long as I avoid things like meat flaps. Also, avoid using food metaphors to describe skin colors." Particularly because the fic I'm working on right now is centered in Wakanda Forever. I am not having a single person in that story be referred to as chocolate. Yeah, maybe that's it. And maybe that's where it is too, because I am so picky about fics. I don't even read fics that much because I am just so particular about how they're written, how they're paced, what the flow is. Like, if I see too many grammatical errors, I'm out. If I see, like, if it jumps right into horny times and I wasn't ready for it, I'll you know, it's just, like, I'm so specific about it. And so, when I say I like a fanfic, like, it's a really well-written fanfic, because I'm very picky about my fanfics. And yeah, it's like, if there's like a jarring use of a certain language, it makes me feel like, oh, well. Good evening, Garaya. If I hear any more gringos, call them more Poppy. Oh, yes. Well, I'm glad that you, enjoyed, question mark? I like this, but I wish the bottom part wasn't white. Maybe put it in here. Yeah, I agree. I want it to be, accurate to whatever story place the story happens in. Now look at this funky wall art I made. I made a couple of different swatches. Electric Gay. lightning in a bottle. I can't let you go, never look at it. All I need is to be struck by your electric gay. Baby, you're electric gay. Electric gay. I have not seen Love is Blind. I've heard a few things, but I've not seen it. So we got that wall, that wall. I really like how funky fresh that is. You know what? I think I'm gonna switch this up a bit. Yeah, out of character fix are they can be good. I like I enjoy AUs as long as it's like an idea for the characters that like I like or it feels like it makes sense. Like I'm currently the one I'm currently working on is basically like changing one thing that happened in the movie that I wasn't really crazy about to what I would prefer, which I think will make the story better or at least more to my taste. Because I think that there was just so much chemistry and potential with these characters, and I want to explore that. But yeah, we're talking fanfics on the podcast in a few weeks. Wait a minute. Oop. Wait, what? One, two, three, four. Hammer. Okay, switch to the daylight, please. things aren't symmetrical, I will go bananas. We getting fucked up tonight. Bet you think. I feel like falling in love. I'm in the mood to fuck something up. I think I'm falling in love. She said, what you know about love? I got what you need. We about to set it, turn off the drum. It's just you and me. What you want? I like what I see. Fanfic, whoa! Now see, that's where your girl, that's the fires I was forged in. That's where I first started looking at fanfic, was fanfic.net. Is fanfic.net still around? Man, that's where I got started with fanfic. Though, let me see if my Legend of Zelda fanfic is still up. Oh, you went to check it out? Well, let me know what you think. Oh, fanfic! Oh my god, my fanfic account is still up! Oh my god! You were not paying attention when I said smut. Oh. Well, yeah, it do be smutty. 2011. This is a Legend of Zelda fanfic. Now see, this is where the stream is going right now. First of all, let's see if I can still log in. First we checked out my DeviantArt, now my fanfic.net account. Don't let nobody tell you that Rinstar is not transparent as a content creator. Because what the fuck? Oh my god. Yo, let me tell you, when I say that Legend of Zelda was a deep special interest of mine for a minute there, like, see, the fun part about being ADHD is that the autistic part of you will get an intense special interest in something and you'll learn like everything there is to know about that thing, and the ADHD part will move on to another thing that you can repeat the process with. So for a while there it was Legend of Zelda, and when I mean I was obsessed, I mean I learned how to speak, I learned how to write the language. I learned how to translate and write the language that they use. Oh, so it's written really well. I do think it'd be beneficial to break the paragraphs a little more. You're probably right. See, and I kept going back and forth about what POV I was going to write from. And at first I was going to like, well, maybe I want to switch POVs between paragraphs, but that gets a little bit messy. And then I just decided to do more of just an omniscient third-person POV. And so the reason that some of the paragraphs are real thick is because I was thinking in terms of like making it all for one character. But I do think I'm probably going to go back and break the paragraphs up a little bit more. Because I think you're right. They're like kind of a lot. No. That's not mean at all. No, not at all. Not at all. Well, like I said, where's my note on here? I said, it's been floating around my idea. Constructive criticism is welcome. So yeah, by all means, if you want to go check it out, leave a comment or, you know, give me some feedback, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. In fact, I'm actually going to take what you said right now while it's on the mind, and I'm going to put in some more paragraphs. those of you who are reading it right now, again, don't say I've never exposed myself, but I'm just gonna put this in. Let's see. Yeah, that can at least do a paragraph break there. Actually, no, I will double paragraph that. There we go. I know. Oh my God, Blue Star, you're so right. Like, I was just telling somebody, this fanfic I'm currently working on is like the most inspired I have felt to write fanfiction in years. I have a story, like, it's not even a fanfic, it's my own original story that's been languishing on my computer for like 10 years. I used to write stories when I was a little kid. Like, I used to love writing and reading, like sitting down and reading a book. And now I cannot fucking focus for more. If I watch a TikTok video that's like longer than 30 seconds, I'm already like, I want to scroll. Like, it's so bad. Okay, anyway, let's expose myself some more. Oh, my fan. Well, no, it's not even the standards, yeah, but like, I don't even think it's a standards thing for me. I think it's like, I just can't focus nearly as well as I used to be able to. Wow, fanfic.net has like changed its vibe a little bit. Still lots of ads. I'm just trying to find my fanfic. Can I just find my fanfics, please? Thank you. Yeah, it's like focusing is the issue. It's like, I have ideas. Like, oh man. Like, if I actually make myself finish this fic that I'm currently working on, which I really am going to try to do, I have some great ideas that I already know I want to happen. Like, there's already I won't even go, but there's already some stuff that I'm planning that I think will be, well, yeah, again, I'll give you the overview because that's like fine. But without spoiling the movie though. But basically, it's these two characters from Wakanda Forever, like, joining forces and sort of doing this sort of group event revenge thing, and it's like there's some characters that I am looking forward to like killing off or like whatever. Like, I have some serious ideas. It's just a matter of focusing and outlining them. Write the 16 out. Okay, I'll think about that. See, I go back and forth. For me, I feel like I process ages faster when it's a number. But when I'm trying to think, how is it written in? I see I listen to a lot of audiobooks now. So yeah, you're probably right from like a literary perspective. I think I'm thinking more in a casual writing perspective. Anyway, so I got 2 on here. Where are some of the favorite? Is that weird one still on here? Yes, it is! Oh my god, the Scars one! Oh my god, y'all, the Scar. Oh wait, no, not even that one. Sarabi's Skin. Yes, this one. This was one of the most interesting fanfics. What year was this? 2004. 2004. Okay, I might have to go back to that, but first let me look at mine. I thought I had more, but I definitely have these 2. Oh god. There's a Psych one and there's a Legend of Zelda one. Yeah. God. Oh, jeez. Let's see. So this one was published in 2011. It's a one shot, very short, so not big. Although it was favorited 3 times, and it has mostly positive reviews. So short and sweet. Oh, I was in the trenches. Oh Oh god, man. Early internet history is such a wild place. Jesus Christ. I don't know if I can do this. Okay. God, this is like reading something in a foreign language. Like, I used to know the language of the fandom and the language of fic, and anyway. My first fanfic, kind of short and poetic. I may add on later. Tell me what you think. It's Zelgan, although no names are mentioned, so be warned. Takes place during the end of Ocarina of Time. Oh my god, this is oh god. Oh, you like yourself an angst fic, I guess. No shade, I like myself an angst fic too. God damn. So this is more than 10 years ago. This is 11 years ago. I'm gonna try to do a dramatic reading. Okay, I've made it through the pro-life poem. I should be able to make it through this. Her eyes, cold, hard, piercing, and without a trace of fear, staring down at him from her crystal prison suspended in the air. He could brutalize her, bully her, threaten all he wanted, but he could never escape those eyes. It was as though she knew he could never really harm her. His heart was racked with conflict every time he so much as looked upon her face. How his desire to wipe her out was never apart from his desire to take her up in his arms and kiss her made no sense to him. He was a monster, a cruel beast who had destroyed everything that had ever been close to him. To experience true and natural love was beyond his reach. His longing for the heart of a beautiful, strong woman like her would never be fulfilled, and he knew it more than anything. He was a dead man. He had been dead inside for as long as he could remember, and when the hero came, all would be finished. There was one she looked upon with respect, the hero. Okay, let me try that sentence again. There was one she looked upon with respect, the hero. She gave him the gift of her gaze, full of honor for the savior of the kingdom. She never looked upon anyone but the hero in that way, least of all him. All she looked at him with was utter contempt and perhaps pity. Yes, pity, the great master of evil. His very presence demanded fear and respect from most, but never from her. Only contempt for his evil works and pity for the pathetic, loveless creature he really was. The hero is coming now. He can sense it. Once the hero enters, he will be forced to fight by mere compulsion. The battle is already lost, yet he will fight, always under the piercing gaze of her eyes. Snap, 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 snap. Honestly, it's not really that bad. I just am so perpetually embarrassed by everything that I do. I mean, it's well written, I think. It's not bad, but I don't like giving myself credit. I get so embarrassing. Oh boy. I did mention an Obama fic, and unfortunately that may be lost media because I actually tried like real hard to try to find that, but because I deleted my old Tumblr and I could have sworn I had it in a document, but I couldn't find it, so it may still be somewhere in some forgotten file somewhere. And if I ever find it, I most certainly will show it to you guys. But I was actually thinking of writing a continuum of it. I might do like a crack fic, like a crack fic one shot or something for AO3. I might do that. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. Because some people was like, "Would you write a continuation?" I was like, "Oh, maybe." But yeah, I wish I could show you the Obamini fanfic. And if I find it, I will. But after the Jesus Judas tag. Why am I not surprised? You guys want to hear the Psych fanfic? Once again, positive reviews. And you might notice a pattern here, even though it's only 2 fanfics. Like, I seem to really gravitate towards, like, either an enemies to lovers vibe, or, like, the unlikely couple, the definitely not canon couple, the weird choice of a couple. That's what I seem to gravitate towards. Because, like, why was I writing a Zelgan fic? What compelled me to do that? Why? Oh god. Anyway, my favorite part of this one is so let's see, when I have to publish this is 2012, July 17th, 2012. And my favorite thing about it is the intro tag, whatever, because I remember what was going on in my head when I wrote this. And it was like, Juliet is dying of cancer and Lassiter is reflecting on their relationship. And I remember writing it like cancer was like the only like vague plot device I could think of. I mean, why? I literally fridged Juliet just for this thing to occur. Oh my god. Like, I should be fucking ashamed. But we press on. Anyway. Exactly. You fridged her in the very description. Didn't even let us be shot. Exactly. I was like, okay, sis, you got to go. You gotta be the emotional catalyst for a man. Oh my god. And I even put this disclaimer: I do not own Psych or any of its characters. Yeah, because there was definitely a risk of somebody thinking that I did. Okay. Here we go. Nothing was like reading a gay fic with a disclaimer. If you don't like gay stuff, don't read on every. Okay, I can tell that fan fiction is the direction the stream is taking. That's cool. You know, we let the stream drive itself. The boat drives itself a little bit. Oh god. Anyway. Okay. Let me put back my professional prose for this one. I love her. I always have and I always will. Even now that I'm going to lose her. I had a partner before her, Barry. Barry wasn't so bad to look at, and even that idiot Spencer pegged the fact that she and I were sleeping together, but it never meant anything, not really. I was trying to get over Victoria. Not doing very well, but trying. And Barry was a cheap hit. But O'Hara, God. I had some unpacking to do, but this is in the voice of Lassiter, and he probably would say something like that. But O'Hara, Juliet O'Hara, from the moment I laid eyes on her, I knew she was special. She was worth so much more. I was her senior officer. Where is that? I was her senior officer, and head detective of the SBPD, but that didn't really seem to matter anymore. I was her friend, her confidant, her partner, and I vowed soon after meeting her that I would stop at nothing to protect her. I knew she'd never feel for me the way I felt for her, but I didn't care. When I was like 13, I somehow was not grasping the fan fiction and thought they were canon adjacent. Those first few fic readings were wrong. Oh no! That actually sounds like a pretty interesting thing. I like, that's a pretty interesting thing. I like super dads as a concept. I think it's kind of cute. Anyway, let's continue. When she got attached to that pain, Spencer, it was like a knife through my heart. Nothing like the drama. But I did not stop protecting her. And I told Spencer that if he ever hurt her in any way, he would have me to answer to, and I meant it. Now, I will say that I really worked to make this fic work in universe. There are several references to specific episodes of the show in this fic. Because I am just that without a fucking life. Oh my god. I don't write fanfiction super often, but when I do, I get passionate. Anyway, I told Spencer Spencer was just the latest in a long line of poor choices. Arrogant Special Agent Ewing, Rich Boy Fraud Declan, and that wishy-washy sap Scott. These are all literally people in the show. I don't even remember like all of the details, but I remember that these are all specific references to certain episodes. Through it all, I was there. Oh yeah, I threw my head in a messy bun. And then One Direction bought me from my drug addict mom. I always feel bad for that girl who wrote the I got sold to One Direction fic, because people dragged her through the mud and she was like 13. Like, oh my god. Oh boy. Jeez. I think she made a TikTok about it recently. Anyway, ignore my own breaking heart so I can fully tend to hers. When Yen kidnapped her, I leapt into action. I ignored the chief and risked losing my job because I didn't care about my job in that moment. If the monster had killed Juliet, he would have killed me, and I'm not being hyperbolic or metaphorical when I say that. Once Guster and I did save her, she tried to pretend she was alright. Your name was never getting a break. I know. It was so bad. Shit. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. She told me she was alright, didn't need help. I need better. I stayed behind until the other officers let her be. When she fell into my arms and began to weep, I just held her and ignored the tears welling up in my own eyes. I had never been more frightened in my life by that thought that I almost lost her. No one knew, as I held her on the empty clock tower, that she looked up at me and tried to form the words, but seemed to abandon any attempt at speaking and simply pressed her lips up to mine instead. There is no other way for me to react. Of course I kissed her back, and it was the single most wonderful of my moment, wonderful moment of my life. Am I dyslexic? I'm not dead ass. Can I read? Which I'll admit has not been full of wonderful moments. Again, based on a real scene. I have a picture. I used the picture as the cover art. Jesus. But after that special exchange, things were different. She seemed embarrassed in her moment of weakness and drew back almost immediately. Cotton, I'm so sorry. I never meant that. I never meant. She trailed off. Look, I said, holding her face up to mine. I don't care, alright? I love you. I've always loved you. I'm going to keep loving you until the day I die, no matter what. Do whatever you want with your life. I don't expect you to let me hold you back. I'm not going to try to, but whatever you do, wherever you go, I'll be here for you to the end. And she gave me a weak smile through a tear-stained face and said, I will remember that. And that was why I called it that. So, yeah. Again. Was it bad? No, not really. It's pretty well written, pretty easy to follow. I just cannot fight. I'm fighting cringe demons every day. Look at this fucking cover art, by the way. Tell me we were not meant to ship it. It's so gorgeous. I wish I could draw. That's one thing. I can write, but I wish I could draw. You speed running to not have to process it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was like, I'm just gonna read it real fast before I have a chance for the embarrassment to overcome me. Yeah. Yeah, no, I do think that like Zelda and Ganon is an interesting concept. Like I said, I was always kind of into those like kind of wonky ships between characters that maybe weren't canon or would have been weird if they had been canon, but I still liked them. Make Ganondorf Canondorf. Jesus. When my siblings and I were kids, we would play you know, Smash Brothers. And you know how if you like click on the name or whatever, they will like, the announcer will like say the name in a really dramatic voice. We used to make you go Ganondorf, 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 Ganondorf. The fact that the Gerudo can only get one male Gerudo and it's Ganon every time, and he's busy beating up the little elf children. Little elf children is so funny to me. It is funny to me. And also, it's so interesting to look, the Gerudo are all female. Oh, have you seen that? Oh, it was like this fanimation or whatever with I think Bowser having a conversation with oh yeah, I think it was on Pro CD, and with Ganon, and he was like, Bowser was asking Ganon how to like impress Peach, and he was like, why are you asking me? And it's like, because you have like a billion sisters. What are girls like? Hey, Ultraviolet. Yeah, pretty much. Building houses and demolishing my reputation through fanfics. Later we'll probably do some Jackbox if we get some more people on. I found my fanfiction.net account. So that happened. I mean, true. It really wasn't as bad as the board, but it really isn't bad at all. Like, it was, you know, pretty well written, if I do say so myself. I'm just embarrassed by it. Yes, my fanfics, like ones that I wrote. I had a Ganondorf and Zelda one. I had Juliet and Lassiter from Psych. And I'm currently working on one for Black Panther, a Namori ship. Now you're lost in the heat of it all. Lassie from Psych. Okay, just for you, Ectoviolet. I'll go ahead and read it again, because I started speed running it at the end because I was just so embarrassed. But, so you better be glad I like you. All right. Anyway, so yes, it's Lassie from Psych and Juliet, and it's sort of I am a good writer and I'm pretty good at world building. So like it's not poorly written. It has several references, not jokes, but references to specific episodes. The old "I do not own" disclaimer, a relic of the past. Indeed. It's really taking me back to, when did I write this? 2012. Anyway, I love her. I always have, and I always will. Even now that I'm going to lose her. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that, and really, this is not necessary. Did my church friend know about this? Which church friend? or just church friends in general. No, they certainly didn't. Yeah, okay, but anyway, so I meant to say that I literally fridged Juliet in the description. Oh, friends, yeah, no, they don't, and I'm not going to go out of my way for them to know about it. And so, in the description, I fridged Juliet by saying that she's dying of cancer, which is only to set up that he's reflecting on their relationship, and this is all happening like in a flashback kind of. But it really, and you'll see, the way that the story is structured, that wasn't really necessary. And I did not have to kill her off just to facilitate this moment. But here we are. Anyway, I love her. I always have and I always will, even now that I'm going to lose her. I had a partner before her, Barry. Barry wasn't bad to look at. And even that idiot Spencer pegged the fact that she and I were sleeping together. But it never meant anything. Not really. Dead woman man pain moments. Exactly. This is literally dead woman man pain. Like, this is embarrassing. This is the most embarrassing part of that. And it's just like, wow, I would have written that differently if I wrote it today. Oh man, this is angst and this is dead woman man pain. I am okay. So Spencer pegged that she and I were sleeping together, but it never meant anything, not really. I was trying to get over Victoria, and not doing well, but trying. Barry was a cheap hit. But O'Hara, Juliet O'Hara, from the moment I laid eyes on her, I knew she was special. She was worth so much more. I was her senior officer and head detective of the SPPD, but that didn't seem to matter anymore. I was her friend, her confidant, her partner, and I vowed, soon after meeting her, that I would stop at nothing to protect her. I knew she'd never feel the way for me that I felt for her, but I didn't care. It's giving very much Jorah and Daenerys in the books. A little bit in the show, but more laid out in the book. Yeah, that's a good point. When she got attached to that pain, Spencer, it was like a knife through my heart. Drama! But I didn't stop protecting her. I told Spencer that if he ever hurt her anyway, he would have me to answer to, and I meant it. Spencer was just the last in a long line of poor choices. Arrogant Special Agent Ewing, rich boy fraud Declan, and that wishy-washy sap Scott. Through it all, I was there. I ignored my own breaking heart so I could fully tend to hers. Again, all very specific references to the show. Well, sometimes it's a McCoy. Well, okay, McCoy's actually a lawyer, but his dad was a cop. And he's a prosecutor, so still. When Yin kidnapped her, I leapt into action. I ignored the chief and risked losing my job because I didn't care about my job in that moment. If that monster had killed Juliet, he would have killed me, and I'm not being hyperbolic or metaphorical when I say that. Once Guster and I did save her, she tried to pretend she was alright, and I didn't need any help. I knew better, so I stayed behind as the other officers let her be. When she fell into my arms and began to beat, I just held her and ignored the tears welling up in my own eyes. I had never been more frightened in my life by the thought that I almost lost her. No one knew, but as I held her on that clock tower, she simply looked at me and tried to form the words, but she seemed to abandon any attempt at speaking and simply pressed her lips to mine instead. And there was no other way for me to react. Of course, I kissed her back, and it was the single most wonderful moment of my life, which I'll admit has not been full of happy moments. And again, that's based on this scene, which I helpfully made the cover of the story. So, again, very canon here. This is very in-canon work. I mean, not all of the events are, but, like, just about all of the world building is. But after that special exchange, things were different. She seemed embarrassed, and after a moment of weakness, she drew back almost immediately. Carlton, I'm sorry, I never meant, she trailed off. Look, I said, holding her face in mine, I don't care, alright? I love you. I've always loved you, and I'm going to keep loving you until the day that I die, no matter what. Do whatever you want with your life. I don't expect you to let me hold you back. And I'm not trying to. But whatever you do, wherever you go, I'll be here for you to the end. She gave me a weak smile through her tear-stained face and said, I'll remember that. It is a cool idea. I love Psych. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched it, but I'm introducing my fiance to it, so I'll probably get back into it. But yeah, it's a good show. Pushing Daisies 2. It only went for 2 seasons. Wait, Pushing Daisies? Am I thinking of a different show? Oh, yes. Oh, right. Yeah, no, we're thinking of the same show. I forgot. You know what? I legitimately forgot that there was, like, a crime-solving element to Pushing Daisies for a minute. Even though that was, like, a pretty big part of the show. I, like, completely forgot that for a second. I was just like, yeah, the one that's, like, a musical and it has Kristen Chenoweth and, like, the girl that's dead and everything. If he touches something, if he touches somebody, they'll die. And he's his girlfriend. He can't touch her or she'll die. And I forgot. Oh yeah, and they also solved crimes. Yeah. But there was like it's Kristen Chenoweth, so that's what stuck in my mind. I was like, yeah, Kristen Chenoweth, that big song she sang, and it was like, was it? It wasn't Zooey Deschanel, I don't think, but it was like it was that kind of person, I think. Was it Zooey? I don't remember. Yeah. As you can see, it's been a while since I watched it. Now, hang on a second. Oh, what if we did opposite corners? Well. Oh, that could be funky. Wait, I got an idea. Yeah, she had that manic pixie dream girl, mid 2000s quirky white girl vibe that Zooey Deschanel has. Anna Friel. Yeah, that was an enjoyable show. I wish it had gone on for a little bit longer. War and glory, reinvention. Fusion, fury, her attention. Out in daylight, my potential. Bold, precise, experimental. Who am I now in this world without her? Petty and dull with the strength to doubt her. Why does it matter? It's already done. Now I've got to be there for her son. It's over, isn't it? I have no idea what that was doing. That, man, I have a lot of issues with the writing of Steven Universe, but that song fucks. Yeah, Pearl was like I heard that the actress who plays Pearl literally they had to do another take because she was like she put so much of her pussy into it that they were like, yo, this is like, or no, I think what it was is they had already like preliminary done some of the animations for it. And then she sang and she put her whole pussy in it. And they were like, we gotta reanimate this because it's not matching the energy that she's giving. Oh, thank you. and she chose you, and she loved you, and she's gone. It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on? Holy shit! It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on? Like, I really don't fuck with Pearl, except in that moment, I would die for her. Oh, Ruby, yeah, I believe it. And Charlene Yi is also in We Bare Bears. Like, I definitely understand why people fell in love with Steven Universe, particularly the time that it came out. Yeah, exactly. Hurts so good, man. And it's like, the reason, I totally get, because it's like, if I had been in a different space in my life, it probably would have been my favorite too. I watched it as an adult with the benefit of hindsight, so I was like, I don't like the way that some of these characters are written, and some of these, like, problematic attempts at addressing these social issues. But, excuse me. But it still, also holds a very special place in a lot of people's hearts for, not without reason, because there's a lot of genuinely, it's like, with Steven Universe, it's like, the misses are, when they miss, but when they hit it, they hit it. It's like, the misses, hi, Sapphic Sea Maid. It's like, the things they did bad, they did real bad, but the things they did well, they did really well. Oh yeah, no, I don't, like I said, I do not fuck with Pearl. I do not fuck with Pearl because she is manipulative, and she's abusive, and she's a whole lot of other things. I mean, can we, see, here you go, you got Ren on one of her rants, here we go, let's charge it up. Alright, so let's talk about how Pearl essentially rapes Garnet, and Garnet is expected to forgive her. Let's discuss that. Let's discuss it for a moment. Because that is a classic example of when the show doesn't do something right, it does it very, very, very wrong. Like, Rebecca Sugar is, like, just one of those writers who sometimes forgets her own depth and goes way out of it, and it has some bad results. What? No. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. No. Like, so it's. I mean, it's a metaphor, obviously, but because, and this is another reason that, like, the fusion metaphor is so, like, messy. But we know that for Garnet, at least, the Sardonyx arc was weird too. Because what were they even trying? Yeah. No. I don't. Yeah. The Sardonyx arc was so weird, and it was like, and then the way that it made it seem like, oh, like, Garnet will eventually, like, be okay with you. Okay. So backing up a little bit. So it's like the exact meaning of fusion, the exact, like, significance of fusion is a little bit of a messy metaphor, but we know that at least for Garnet, fusion is the most intimate thing you can do. It is the gym equivalent to, call it sex or whatever. It is the most, like, physically intimate thing that you can do with another gem. And so Garnet does not do it lightly. She only Garnet herself is a fusion, and she's a constant fusion of Sapphire and Ruby because they don't want to be apart, because they have spent so much time intertwined with each other's lives that, like, they're like their own other separate person. And so the idea, the fusion being an intimate relationship for some gems, drugs for some, and just friendship, family for others makes it uncomfy. Because, like, it makes sense all of them see it differently, but for us it does not sit well. Well, exactly. I mean, that's how you get things like Steg, and then you start asking some very uncomfortable questions. Or, frankly, even Stevani. But I'll get there. But anyway, so we know for Garnet, at least, it's like, it's a very physical, intimate relationship. And she doesn't do it lightly, and when it came to fusing with the other gems and stuff, she would only do it if it was, like, necessary, and she doesn't typically stay in fusions for a long time. Exactly. Whether it's sex or not, she is still manipulating Garnet into an extremely intimate act under false pretenses. Exactly. That's why I'm like, it's like a rape allegory. It may not literally be rape, but, like, it is functionally the same thing, where Pearl manipulates her into fusing under false pretenses. And that is, like, that would be violating for anybody, but particularly with Garnet's entire character being built around how important fusion is to her, to say, well, Pearl was really sad, so she forced her to fuse when she didn't want to, or under false pretenses, and taking advantage of her like that is okay, because Pearl feels bad. Like, it's just like, no. And it's like, and her excuse, her understand, and what really pissed me off is that when Garnet reacted understandably furious to this, when even Amethyst came and like was on defending Pearl and was like, you know, it's just so hard to be around you because you're like so strong, which is so fucking weird, because it's like, first of all, Amethyst and Pearl don't even like each other that much. So for Amethyst of all people to come to Pearl's defense doing something that is indefensible, it's like, oh my god, is the narrative trying to tell us that this is okay? Because it's super not. And like, oh, well, or at least you can see both sides. Like, oh, well, she's sad because, like, you know, it's hard not to be strong. Like, what? Can you imagine? Like, what? I mean, like, again, bringing it back to the rape allegory, like, a lot of the reason that people assault people like that is because they feel powerless and they want to exert power over somebody else. That doesn't make it okay. Like, it was very, very, very uncomfortable. When Garnet has Ruby or Sapphire ever been shown fusing with someone besides you? I don't think so. Not separately. Not unless they will fuse with each other. And they used to fuse, like Ruby, of course, used to fuse with herself. But other than that, no, I don't think they are. When Garnet had the song Made of Love, which is a fucking bop, by the way, it was all about how they chose to be together and how much they love each other, but manipulation and lies are not acts of love. Exactly. And Amethyst trying to defend Pearl was so awful, but after that one episode with her turning into Rose to mess with Greg more than once. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Okay, we'll move on to the Amethyst thing. Again, Amethyst handled very weirdly as a character. Like, just, you know, kind of, yeah, a very weird handling of Amethyst as a character. And one of those weird things was definitely when she, was basically, when she and the Greg, I still, to this day, don't understand what the implications of her and Greg hanging out were supposed to be. Like, this show has a problem with, like, setting up a scenario that could be a metaphor for a lot of things, but can't be a metaphor for all of them, or shouldn't be. And if it is, then it's very hard to tell what the show is actually trying to say about certain scenarios they set up, because, like you say, they don't stay surface level, where it's like, I understand, I can appreciate a show wanting to get a little deeper, but if you're gonna get deeper, you gotta really know what you're doing. Like, a show that I feel like does it really well is Infinity Train. Infinity Train is, like, one of the best shows, not just cartoons, but one of the best shows, period, that I have seen in 10 years. It's so magnificent as a show. And it's like, there are so many moments where Infinity Train tackles the nuances of, like, behavior, of trauma, of cycle breaking, of all of that kind of stuff, and where somebody's responsibility, like, how far is it somebody's responsibility to help themselves and not continue their trauma onto other people. And it deals with those, and it deals with it really well. But Steven Universe doesn't deal with it with that same level of complexity, with that same level of, like, real thought into the implications of what they're doing in the show. Steven Universe team repeatedly, insistently said that there's no child baby dreams. So why was she child-sized and had a childish personality back in the 80s, even though she was already hundreds of years old at that time? Yeah, not only that, but here's right the themes of accountability. Yeah, and not only that, actually, by the way, you know what else? Speaking of like baby gems, so that also means that Pink Diamond is not a little girl, even though she is framed that way by the narrative, so that you feel bad for like her sisters being mean to her, and like you try to absolve the shitty things she did because like, oh well, she was just an abused little girl. But if the gems are not babies or children, then how can Pink Diamond just be an innocent little girl? Why is she set up to be like an annoying little sister who doesn't know what's going on and like completely innocent of any personality, like any responsibility for her actions? Like Rose literally, Pearl and Pink Diamond and when she's Rose, they both just sort of blithely fly through life and knock shit off the walls and ruin people's lives and just don't even notice. Like Rose acts like she ain't got a brain in her head. Like she will fucking set you on fire and be like, why are you screaming? Like she was watching the baby and then she's like, look, that baby's like about to fucking die. Greg's like risking his life to save the baby and she's like, oh, what's that about? Like it's just like, what is going on here? Like Pink's ignorance is not excusable or understandable if it is established that the gems are not children. But the amount of Pink stans who have tried to argue with me about Pink was just an abused little girl, she's never done anything wrong. Like, Pink Diamond is a white woman allegory, exactly. I made a la Oh, nothing good. They actually made her worse as the show went on. Like in Steven Universe Future, it was like a spin-off where they did basically a fifth season where they like fast forwarded them, and yeah, but anyway, they kind of ended with like Steven being his own, like being her, but different. But they also, in Steven Universe Future, no, not even Steven Universe Future, in the movie, they revealed another incredibly shitty thing that she had done, which was abandon Spinel. So that was the whole thing. So yeah, suffice it to say, she got actively worse as the show went on, not better. She also was revealed to be physically abusive to Pearl. Yeah, another different perspective on it is the way that they handle any black coded character is highly suspect. Particularly the way they handle Bismuth. The way they handle Bismuth is not good. Yep, she treated the people around her as disposable. She abandoned Spinel. She hit Pearl just because she was throwing a tantrum. And yeah, back to the Garnet. No, sorry, Amethyst thing. So Amethyst and Greg. So why was she set up to be like a kid in those scenes? You know, where she was like a little sister, but then also was like jealous. And it would make sense if she was like maybe, you know, jealous of Greg for like spending time with Rose, but she seemed almost jealous of Rose for being with Greg, and it was like, wait a minute. So did you want Greg, and if so, why, and what? And also, not only that, but like that adds another dynamic of weirdness to the to when Steg happens. Steg itself is already weird, and then Amethyst and the fusion with, isn't it Amethyst and It's Amethyst and Pearl? I think it's Amethyst and Pearl. And yeah, and they do a duet, a love ballad with Steg. It's just weird. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, it's like, and I mean, the fact that they wrote her to say that in the first place, like, okay, well, she's gonna immediately, like, threaten that level of violence. But, you know, she wants them to be liberated, and the way that the narrative treats that, like, no, that's bad. Shame on you, Bismuth. You should just be nice and politely ask your oppressors to stop. Okay. I haven't, but I've heard of it. Uh, I don't know, probably Wanda. Let's get to the gritty mitty. Take me straight to the custom content, Jack. Oh, I like that. Oh, but wait. I live in a house with a tin roof, and every time it rains, I can feel my brains. It's moving back and forth, inside out. East. I was up last night, tossing and turning. Didn't get to sleep, and I put through the morning. Yeah, I also read for Wanda. She's bad, but she's so good at it. Yeah, I'm not with you on Tony, but I can be with you on Wanda. I was definitely defending her. Which is another one of those, like, funny things about, like, this weird purity culture that people have around fiction, because it's like people be like, you like her, she's bad. Like, oh my god, my like, I had made when I made the video where I was talking about how, you know, I was gonna ship Namor and Shuri, even though he did that one really bad thing in the movie, and I was like, you know, because if people can ship or say that, you know, forgive Wanda or defend Loki, then I'm not gonna be told that I can't be, like, you know, for these people. And they were like, oh my gosh, you're saying that or they were wrong. They were wrong. What they did was wrong too. It's like, I don't care. That's the point. I don't care. not only can you ignore their human rights violations or create AUs where they don't happen, but like also if you want to write a story and you want to include certain elements that you think will make the story interesting, even if they involve like the redemption of a character that people might not want redeemed, you can do that too because it's fiction and it's made up. And people will act like, you know, they will like try to police like the kinds of fics that you're allowed to ship. Like somebody did some Namori fan art and they were like, oh, so is this an AU where he doesn't do XYZ? And they were like, no. And it's like, it doesn't have to be either. Like they don't have to, you know, abide by your standards of morality in fiction. It's not hurting anybody. I mean, from a viewer standpoint, sure, but from a narrative standpoint, killing is killing. And I mean, some of those characters, they did kill some more like, or at least endanger some liked characters. For me, it's like, you know, the bottom line is, if we can agree that like you can like Damon or you can like Loki and stuff, then you can't be like, oh well, you can't like so and so because blah 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 blah. I do still have beef, honestly, with the fact that they had to do that in the first place, because I don't think that was necessary to the narrative, which is part of the reason that I'm writing my AU. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, it's fiction. Like, I don't mind Des if they contribute to the story or they feel like they are natural and fit well, but I think that sometimes you put stuff in for shock value that doesn't actually have to be there. Or it just could have been written well better to where that wasn't an issue that came up in the first place. Because I think that there was an easy, bloodless solution to the situation that they were facing. And I feel like if we had had time to maybe flesh some stuff out, we could have explored that a little bit more and maybe made it more plausible that they wouldn't have reached that conclusion before things got ugly. Because it's like, yeah, very much so. And people to this day are still trying to argue that like Killmonger's better, and I'm just like, I disagree. I do not agree with that. I found Namor way more sympathetic than Killmonger. Way more. And it's not just because the actor's handsome. I mean, it's like, yeah, I think the only reason people ride for Killmonger is because Michael B. Jordan is hot. And he is, but, like, that doesn't change the fact that his character is shit. This is really coming together. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was sad, for sure. There was definitely a you know what? Ah! No! I didn't mean to do that. By the way, did you see that Bridget Mendler is coming back? She's releasing music soon, I think. I think I'm falling in love. She said, what you know about love, I got what you need. Thank you. Look how cute it is in the front. I'm making it a super gay little cottage. Ready or not? Ready or not, here I come. Where you at? The night is young. In the crowd, the music's loud, but I will find you. Ready or not, here I come. I like your face, do you like my song? I'm singing la 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 until I find you. Ready or not, your breath like a breath of fresh air in my lungs. Yeah, she should have gotten as much hype as Demi Lovato, I feel. I mean, I know she like kind of took a break to focus on school and stuff, which is good for her, but I just feel like she should have been as famous. All that I could forgive. But Becky, pastels? Let's get the bird's eye. Yeah, they didn't give her as good of a material or as many like. Disney definitely handpicks the ones that have the it factor, whatever that is, that they're gonna push. Because I'm sorry, but Miley Cyrus wouldn't have been pushed as far as she were in the early days. I like Miley Cyrus now in terms of her voice, but it was not my favorite thing back in the day. You know the mom from that show, yeah, I was about to say that the mom from Good Luck Charlie, she's like a real life anti-vaxxer. Somebody, somebody was like, that's kind of ironic because she used to play a nurse on Good Luck Charlie, and I was like, I mean, honestly, an anti-vax nurse is actually not hard to imagine. Remember how many nurses were on like TikTok in the early days of the pandemic crying because they were required to get vaccinated? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's actually pretty believable that somebody would act like that because a nurse would act like that because I've seen plenty of nurses that have gone down that path. Yeah, exactly. A lot of nurses are anti-vax. I mean, for a while there was like a video a week on TikTok of some crying nurse in her car crying about how her work was forcing her to be vaccinated and it was just like Hitler's America or something. It was wild. Guys want to play a little Jackbox? kind of does. The mean girl to nurse pipeline is so real because it's like there are white, like, nursing can be to white women what policing is to white men, which is an opportunity to, like, enforce their will on other people. A lot of nurses have a real power complex. That's why so many nurses are married to cops. Exactly. A lot of mean girls become nurses because it puts them in power over. That's exactly it. And I see plenty of nurses that are I follow this one black nurse who talks a lot, who, like, regularly stitches and confronts nurses who get on TikTok and they start talking shit about their patients, or saying Yep, I was a school teacher, and it's like, I mean, I didn't abuse the kids, but, like, there were plenty of people that I would say were more in it for power than for anything else. People were just mean to the kids for no reason. It's like, why are you here? Yeah, I mean, like I said, I used to teach in public school, and, like, you know, there were definitely moments that kids got on my nerves, but but I never hated them. Even when they really, really, really got on my nerves, I never hated them. I never went around about how much I hated children. Like, that's just such a weird position to take, especially if you are in a position where you're taking care of children. Like, my worst students, I would take a bullet for. Like, it's just like, that's just not my mentality. That's great. Oh, God. Okay. More furniture. I think my fiance is having a crisis in the other room because he's listening to, or playing God of War. Yeah, I mean, honestly, those are the kids that often need the most looking after because they got the roughest home situations. I mean, no kid acts like that in a vacuum. I can't decide how I want these. I had a student like that who was this little girl that was just like a terror, would like hit and slap kids and stuff like that. But one of the things when I would teach, one of the only ways I could get her to stop doing that was I would just pick her up and hold her while I was teaching, which was, you know, kind of tiring. But she always calmed down when I was holding her, and I'm just like, is she just this touch starved that she's acting like this just so someone will pick her up? Like, yikes. Yeah, it was the exact same sort of thing. She would climb into your lap. She would want you to hold her. It's just like she's just not getting any affection. Oh yeah, parents will say wild shit to their kids. Like there's another kid, another girl who was always like a problem child, but when her mom would drop her off in the morning, she would say the nastiest things to her. Just yell and scream at her in the car lot as she was letting her out. It'll really break your heart what these kids go through. Alright, let's see what wall decorations. Anything that looks cute and fruity. Hey, yes, it is a very colorful house. Thank you for the sub, Kwame Griffin. Oh, this is for the walls. Oh! Very cute. Very cute. Giving very much cute. Flowers and froggies. Look at these gay little frogs! Bisexual frog! Bisexual frog! Oh, thank you. Yes, I've worked quite hard on it. Look at these colorful little dudes! I'm very proud of the gnomes and the bushes. These bushes are so fucking adorable. They are turning the freaking frogs gay. May the power of the bisexual frog guide this house. Amen. Kermit the Frog here. I think that, a lavender marriage. Yeah, I think that's pretty believable. Now the question is, who is his true love? Is it Gonzo? Miss Piggy. Okay, let's talk Muppets. What are the sexuality of the Muppets? Kermit is definitely gay. Or he's at least like bisexual with a preference for men. And him and Piggy are in an open relationship. Piggy, she's giving Pan. Piggy's giving Pan. Gonzo. Trans. I think that's almost canon, right? Kermit is ace. I'm called okay. All right, you know, valid. I can believe an animal is arrow ace, for sure. Kermit and Miss Piggy are T for T. Okay, valid. I'll accept it. Gonzo was recently converted to non-binary. Woo! We got one! Yeah, because I remember some conservatives were mad about, I have a terrible... And then the Grinch got a bad idea. A terrible, awful idea. Beaker has MB energy as well. Let's see. There's a lot of fics here. Let's find... Ooh, tragedy. What's a Muppet tragedy look like? Oh, Janice is so... Janice is a lesbian. Hella. Janice is like your cool-ass lesbian aunt who's had a roommate for 16 years. Literally no Muppet is cis and het. I'll accept literally everything else. I'm trying to find like a compelling, let's see, voiceless. What is that? What's the Elmo rant? Okay, that's not actually the Muppets. I'm looking for the Muppets. Hang on a second. Too much rant. What the hell is happening? Oh, gee, transfication beam. The demon inside. Alright. Let's look at some Muppet fanfics, folks. Hey, Punkarunio. I love that's a cute emoji. So this one was published in 2007. And it says, Animal is the violent drum player of Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. In Muppet Babies, he was cute, innocent, and energetic. But after time has passed, a psychic gives the baby one thing that defines his life. Rated R. Ooh, spicy. It gives him the one thing in his adult life, a drum. Okay. Sweet. Sweet little baby Animal crawled around the nursery. We watched Baby Kermit and Baby Fonzie color pictures. Baby Miss Piggy. Baby Miss Piggy. Oh, I should show you guys the Lion King fanfic I found. It's the one of the ones that I read when I was younger. Anyway. Sweet little baby Animal crawled around the nursery watching Kermit and Baby Fozzie color pictures, Miss Piggy putting on makeup, Gonzo and Rolf whispering things to each other under a table, Baby Scooter and his sister Baby Skeeter, what an unfortunate name, looking at Scooter's computer. Baby Animal had nothing to do. He did not feel like drawing, talking gossip, or anything that his Muppet brethren were doing. He was bored, and as one can plainly see, suddenly Nanny came into the room. Hey kids, how would you like a snack? She said in a sweet voice, carrying a plate of graham crackers and different cups of milk. All the babies cheered and rushed towards their caretaker. Animal got there last, seeing as he was only able to crawl, because unfortunately, he had not mastered the art of walking yet, being obviously the youngest. Okay, these things were not obvious to me, writer. Stop saying that. Ooh. Sorry, my nose ring is bothering me. Anyway. Summer Penguin? Who the fuck? Okay, anyway. So, Now there's only enough to have 2 crackers, explained Nanny. Everyone took their 2 crackers. As they munched, Nanny sat with them and tried to talk to them. Kids, I've received some news, she explained. Everyone stopped eating and stared at her. What's the news? What? But what's the news, Nanny? Asked Miss Piggy. Nanny's unseen face had a sad expression. Well, a big storm is coming. And it's called a tornado, she said. The Muppets babies gasped. Baby Animal jumped on Nanny's lap. Tornado, Nanny? He asked. Nanny shook her head. Not tornado, Animal. Tornado, she said. What's a tornado, Nanny? Asked Baby Gonzo, looking interested. Well, I guess you could say that it's that a tornado is a swirling wind. You see, kids, we live in an area called Tornado Alley, replied Nanny. Tornado Alley, replied Baby Rolf. Confused, Nanny took out a map of the U.S. She pointed at Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. Right now, Rolf, is where the tornadoes happen. We live here, pointing at Nebraska. When's it supposed to show up, Nanny? Asked Baby Skeeter. Nanny frowned. I just heard on the radio that it will be right on top of us in 15 minutes, so apparently we don't have much time, she replied. The Muppets all gasped and looked worried. How bad can a tornado be? Summer penguin, what? How bad can a tornado be? Asked Piggy. A tornado can destroy anything in its path, you see. First of all, this is a weird thing to be saying to a bunch of kids in your care. Hey kids, just wanted to let you know, we're all gonna die. She had 15 minutes and decided to get them graham crackers and stand her, literally. A tornado can destroy everything in its path, so we have to pack all we can carry and leave here before it's too late. Another thing, the things you take with you has to be something you need, like clothes, replied Nanny. What about my makeup? Asked Piggy. And my piano, asked Rolf. And my computer, asked Baby Scooter. Soon all of the Muppet babies started complaining. Nanny tried to calm them down. Make your peace with your gods, children. Oh, thank you, Catherine Blanford. I mean, it's like, why are you just now saying this is so weird? Kids, we can get more computers, pianos, and makeup, but we can't get another you. Well, then why did you get them out of there earlier? Things like your kids' possessions are replaceable, but your kids can't be. Understand that? She said. The Muppets nodded. They started scattering around the room, finding their favorite stuffed animals and extra clothes. Do they live here? I don't understand what's happening. Oh, no, okay, I guess, yeah, they do live in that. But, like, why? Like, what? Put them in the basement. What are you doing? Come on, kids. Put everything you're taking in the suitcase. Hurry, she cried. All of the Muppets except Baby Animal, for he had no time to prepare at all. Why not? The only thing he had with him was his favorite stuffed animal. Gonzo noticed this. He helped Animal. Come on, Animal, let's get going, he said, picking him up, carrying him out of the nursery, followed by the rest. They ran down the hallways and reached the front door. When Nanny opened the front door, there was wind blowing, fallen leaves being swept into the house, and a funnel-shaped wind charging toward them. Oh my god, I think it is way too late to seek shelter. The Muppet babies had never been so scared in all their lives. Animal put his head in Gonzo's chest. How much bigger is Gonzo than Animal? All the babies hid behind Nanny. Nanny grabbed all of the Muppets and attempted to run out. When she ran out, she was intercepted by the tornado, dropping the babies. Nanny, maybe you shouldn't be the caretaker. Maybe you had no time to prepare because Nanny waited until like 5 minutes to start. Exactly. Like, that should have been your responsibility, Nanny. Oh my god. Kids, she said. Oh, kids, she yelled as she was swept away by the wind current. Baby Kermit held out his running after her, I guess, hands. Nanny, he yelled. Piggy charged after him, and she stopped him. The tornado that held Nanny charged after them. Scared, The Muppets ran back into the house and tried to look for cover. Drop the babies. Anyway, hold on. Okay, so unfortunately, the tornado wrecked its way into the house. It dismantled the ceiling, cracked the floor, and almost apprehended the babies. Somebody was using thesaurus.com. Instead, the tornado broke through the wall, and the wall collapsed on the babies flat. The babies were knocked out for hours. Oh my god. After the tornado, after the tornado left Nanny's house in ruins, the babies and the babies collapsed under a wall. Hours went by until later that night. Baby Muppet concussion. Where am I? But Baby Piggy was the first to wake up. She woke up and climbed out from under the wall. Where am I? How did I get here? Who am I? She asked herself. Oh, they've got amnesia. There's an amnesia plot. She stood up and found a piece of pink cloth. She looked at it and it had her name on it. Piggy! Is that my name? I mean, you just found a name on a random piece of cloth. Why would you assume that was your name? Tornado-related brain damage, exactly. She looked into the broken mirror and saw herself. Well, seeing as that is what I am, I guess it's my name. But who are all those dead people I saw under the wall with me? Oh my god. I don't know. But I don't really care. Hold up. F in the chat for all the dead people under the wall. Anyway. Okay. Dead people I saw under the wall with me. I don't know, but I don't really care. I might as well get out of here and find a place to stay, she said to herself. It was true. She had amnesia. She could not remember anything. She could not remember Nanny or her friends, not even Kermit. For the next few days, she was found by her then young relatives. She lived with them throughout her childhood and eventually moved out to Bogan County and eventually became Miss Bogan County, which is what happens to her in the Muppet movie. It really is. This is a horror Muppet fanfic. Welcome to this stream. I really love that it's like, what is it? She can never remember Nanny or her friends or even Kermit. Like, they just like truncated Piggy's entire life story into like one paragraph. And also, I'm sorry, but like, so her family came and picked her up? Like, from where? Why was she at Nanny's house? Kermit was the second to wake up. He crawled out from under the wall. He remembered his name, unlike Piggy, but could not remember her or Nanny or any of his friends. So he left to look for a swamp, which he did. The swamp he found was the same one in the Muppet movie. There is nothing that says, like, mid-2000s fanfic, like, mentioning the thing that, the canon that you're referring to in the story. like, by the way, this is what is in this movie. Like, there's no wall. There's no fourth wall to be broken. There's just no wall at all. Okay. Gonzo was the third. He woke up not remembering anything except the name of his favorite stuffed animal, Camilla. He ran away from the ruins. A few years later, he met a plumber who taught him his work. Orphan, Gonzo eventually became a plumber. On the way, met a homeless chicken named Camilla, and the two traveled together as seen in the Muppet movie. Oh my god, transition from like Muppet Babies to like adult Muppets. Well, you see, what if it was just like the Muppets were suddenly orphaned by their caretaker and got knocked out, crushed under a building, and then woke up with amnesia. And all just went their separate ways as babies, just little orphan babies going off into like going to the swamp and everything, and just surviving on their own. Like what? Oh my god! Who knew the Muppets had such a tragic backstory? Anyway, Rolf woke up next. When he left, he lived on the streets until he was placed in a foster home. His foster parents taught him how to play the piano. Rolf forgot how to do that as well. When he was an adult, he traveled around the country until he found a restaurant that he worked at in the Muppet movie. After interviewing with the manager, he received a job as the piano player for entertainment at the restaurant and became good friends with the waiter from the Muppet movie, who played by Steve Martin. One by one, each woke up with amnesia and decided not to help the other unconscious people. I might need to make the lore compatible with Muppet Babies. No, it really is like, it's like hey, we're reading a Muppet horror fanfic. It's like, what? And you're right. This was supposed to be about animal. And each thing just woke up. I can't. Oh my god. The fact that they're literally like, yeah. And this character was played by Steve Martin. Oh boy. Scooter and Skeeter woke up afterwards. Luckily, they remembered each other. They ran off together and lived in a treehouse for the remainder of their childhood. Because Scooter forgot his love for computers, he was mostly bored. But not Skeeter. When she was 18, she ran off to the South American jungle, where she was never heard from again. Oh my god. Oh, thank you. I'm just live reading some fanfics on Twitch right now. Alright, finally Animal was the last to wake. He looked at the ruined house and of course did forget. When he woke up, he crawled on the streets, lived in a box. After a couple of days, he was found by a lizard-like Muppet, a psychic. Oh my god, that's a bad name. Don't name it that. Oh dear. At first, Animal thought he was saved, but he was wrong. Yeah, exactly. She's not in the Muppet Baby, so they had to write her out of the story. Hey, at least they didn't kill her like I did. They were just like, she fucked off to the South America. She's gone. Alright. But Animal's life, as he knew it, was about to change. Yeah. Oh boy. Again, peak 2007. At first, Animal thought he was saved, but he was wrong. Baby Animal's life, as he knew it, was about to change, and his young mind knew it. Okay, I was about to say, please tell me there is another chapter, because this is golden. I'm actually going to take this time to take a break and get my charger. So I'll be right back, and then we'll read chapter 2, The Demon Inside. It happened on Family Matters. Judy, the third child, she didn't come back one season. They didn't explain her loss. She just wasn't mentioned again. And we're back. All right. So, so on to the. Oh my God, this racial slur is gonna come up quite a few times. We're gonna just have to skip it. Content warning for that. All right. So, Animal is violent from player. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is chapter 2. It's called Floyd Pepper. Baby Animal was found. Baby Animal was indeed found by a psychic named Racial Slur. Racial Slur was not only a psychic, but she was also a sorcerer. Oh yeah, let's come up with a new name for the psychic. Hunchback of Notre Dame Court. No, it's exactly like, y'all remember when Jenny Nicholson made that video where she was breaking down like bronies, and she talked about how her and her friend made that like My Little Pony Friendship is Witchcraft thing, and they were trying to do a bunch of Hunchback of Notre Dame references, but they didn't realize that the G slur was a slur. And so she's like, by the time we realized like it was in a bunch of songs, so we stopped saying it in the show, but the old episodes were out, it was a whole thing. And she said, that's my mark on the world. And then for a minute, it had a resurgence on TikTok. People were doing, this shit or whatever. When you're ripe with devastation, there's a simple explanation. And the thing is, I really like that song, other than the racial slur. Okay, anyway, Wanda. Oh yeah, that makes sense. We'll call her Wanda. That makes sense. All right. Anyway, some of the music was a bop, but some of the Brony music was a bop. Like Discord, I'm howling at the moon. I'm dreaming in the middle of a summer afternoon. Discord, I'm coming at you. That shit would slap. Anyway, so Wanda was not only a psychic, but she was also a sorceress. She found Baby Animal and brought him to her home. Her home was a rundown building, but when they came in, they found a beautiful room filled with reds and golds and purples. There was a wooden desk that had brown and forest green books. Baby Animal loved all the colors so much. He didn't notice Wanda setting him on the desk. The child looked at this strange creature as she sat down and looked into his dark eyes. Animal, she whispered. The baby himself looks confused. Rah, me Animal, he said, pointing to himself. Wanda smiled. The songs. Oh yeah, this day, yeah, some of those songs were really good. Replacing the G-Star with the name of a Roman psychic was not how I expected my evening to go. Yeah, I don't know, man. I actually feel kind of bad. Like, should we have not picked? I don't know what to do with that. Like, I just don't know. What an awful, terrible name. Why would that be her name? It's so hard to get around it. Okay. Psychic. We could just call her Psychic. The Psychic. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's just call her the Psychic. That works. We'll just, yeah. Sure, you can post that whole thing, but we'll just call her the Psychic. We're just gonna call her the Psychic. That way we don't have to avoid any unfortunate implications. Anyway, so the Psychic found baby Animal and brought him to her home. Her home was a rundown building. Blah 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 blah. Rami Animal, I know, my boy. I know everything about you. I know your past, your violent future. Oh yes, the drums. Everyone knows you because of those things. That's why you're here, child. I felt your presence near, and I looked at you in my mind. What I saw was unlike anything I had ever seen. It was amazing. I looked into your future, Animal, and in doing so, I suddenly learned everything about you and your life. Your mistakes, your lust for women, oh my god, and the most important thing in your life, the drum, she said. Yeah, well, unfortunately, there are people named that in real life because, again, people were not operating under the understanding that it was a slur. Hello. Oh. Alright. Baby Animal is truly amazed. Fortunately, he understood everything the stranger was saying to him. Why? A toddler's lust for women. Exactly. What? Why is this conversation happening? I don't understand. What do you mean? He understood what was being like. How? And why was he always speaking in broken English like that? Isn't he a baby? There's a lot. Oh. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Let's scooch over. Okay, so he understood everything the stranger said. He nodded, letting her know that he understood. Yes, I understand. I will have great lust for women. The fortune teller lured Animal's attention to the crystal ball sitting on the table. The fortune teller then grabbed the baby's shoulder. My name is Fortune Teller, and I am a Fortunella Tellerist, but you can call me Fortune Teller for short. And I'm a psychic sorceress. Having powers and abilities, no other creature could ever think of possessing. You mustn't worry. I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to help you. I'm aware that you woke up earlier and had no idea what happened beforehand. Let me tell you who you are. You are Animal. You will one day become the most well-known drummers in the world. Everyone will have heard of you. You will become a member of a special family called the Muppets. They are a wonderful race of singing and dancing creatures, such as yourselves. You will be a valued member. Yourselves? Like, who are you referring to? Just yourself? Wait, what happened? No, we did get the answers in the first chapter. She got swept away by a hurricane and presumably died, or a tornado. Animal and his lust to do so. Anyway, I don't know. I'm putting my money down now that she's going to make a surprise reappearance at some point in the episode. It didn't confirm that she died. She just flew away. Good night, Guriah. Have a good evening. Anyway, so, you woke up and didn't know what was happening. You rambled, wondered, blah, 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 blah. You will be a valued member of the Muppet Band. The band is called Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. You'll be their drummer. Your bandmates will consist of one of the greatest friends you'll ever have, Floyd Pepper on bass guitar, the only female of the group, Janice on lead guitar, Zoot Sims on, this is a very detailed vision, Zoot Sims on saxophone, and Dr. Teeth on the keyboard. While you serve your many years as a Muppet, your bandmates will be like your family. They will find you, you will find them. And once you start your band up and going, trust me on this, everything will only get better than that. Do you understand everything I have told you? She explained. Baby Animal's head started filling up with so many questions. When will he become a drummer? Will he be a Muppet? When will his so-called family come together as a band? The young drummer was just about to ask these questions and so much more. The fortune teller continued talking. There will be times when you would have to suffer some sort of pain. What? But don't worry, because it will all be worth it in the end. This is a child. Like, this is so much. She's talking to, like, and they even specifically mentioned that he was younger than the other babies. So, like, what? Thank you, Lynn Hightower. Okay, then they'll be like, okay, wait. It'll all be worth it in the end. There will be times you would have to be held by a chain, but that's because it's to protect from causing damage to yourself or anyone else. I will not tell you anything else. Oh, what? You're stopping now? I mean, you told me a hell of a lot. The rest you will learn on the way. There will be times when I would be heard in your head. When that happens, I must tell you, if I ask you to do something like, oh, I don't know, eat some Instagrow pills to save the life of an amphibian friend you will make, please do it, she pleaded. The baby smiled and nodded. The fortune teller hugged the child and placed him in her arms. She carried Baby Animal into the night and kept walking until they started walking into, and a few seconds later, out of a, okay, wow, the syntax. All right, let me back up. Let me try that sentence again. Okay, she carried Baby Animal into the night, and they kept walking until they started walking into, and a few seconds later, out of the forest. When they came out, they found the neighborhood of cute little houses. The fortune teller set the baby on the ground and put his attention on her. She started to wave her hands and chant. Baby Animal started to try to listen to what she was saying, but he could not understand it all. Why can you suddenly not understand her? As the fortune teller's hands moved, sparkling dust appeared to take the shape of a drum. The fortune teller held the drum in her hands and handed it to the baby. Here it is, child. This will be the most important thing in your life. You may not be so attached to it now, but trust me, you will defiantly grow to love it. Enjoy your new life, and do not worry, from this moment on, you will never be alone again, she said as she began to fade away. As she faded, she kissed the infant, he's an infant now, Animal's forehead. She disappeared into the night. The kiss that she left started to cause some intense pain. Baby Animal could not handle it. He placed his forehead over the kiss and screamed for help. Thankfully, his call was answered. Okay, so let's recap. She was like, so the fortune teller found this baby in the woods, like with a head injury, and she brought him to her house, and she was like, I have had a vision, and here's all the details of how your entire life is going to go. I'm gonna give you a drum. All right, bye now. It's a baby. Just kissing Baby Animal. I was like, oh my god. Anyway. Meanwhile, Floyd, get your butt down here and help with the dishes, please. No, yelled a skinny, middle-aged Muppet woman with gray-red hair and lavender skin. Just then, a much younger-looking Floyd Pepper appeared from nowhere. Coming, Mama, he said in a high-pitched little boy voice. So, coming, Mama! The child, Floyd, was only about 4.5 years old at the time. Young Floyd lived with his father, Benedict, and with his grandmother, Bridget, or as he likes to call her, Mama! Only because when Floyd was a baby, his mother, Harmony, divorced his father, leaving Floyd motherless on weekdays and fatherless on the weekends. Oh boy. It was because of this that Floyd's grandma had come to say, so there will be a feminine part of the Pepper household. I don't know if I like the implications of that. Ironically, Floyd's next door neighbors just happened to be Dr. Teeth, Zoot, and Janice, his childhood friends and future bandmates. So it's very convenient. Exactly, younger than what? They haven't given any context. I guess you're just supposed to assume, like, okay, we know you know what they look like as adults. Anyway, this is premium fan fiction. This is exactly the kind of shit. His mother handed him a stool to climb on so he could help. Little Floyd took a dish towel, a sponge, and a dirty plate and started cleaning, washing, and drying. As he and his grandma worked, Floyd started to hear a screaming voice. He tapped on his grandma's shoulder. "Mama, do you hear that?" asked Floyd as he stopped working. His grandma stopped working and listened as well. "It sounds like a distant cry for help," she replied. Floyd jumped down, swiped a red sweater from the kitchen table, and slipped it on. His grandmother turned around. "Now where are you going, Floyd?" she asked. Floyd pointed to the door. "I'm going to find out what that sound is. What else?" he asked. His grandma stopped him. "Not without an adult, you're not," she replied. She swiped a flashlight and a blue sweater from the kitchen table and went off into the night. They searched and searched for the screaming voice. Why did she leave this child in agony just so he would scream for help? Like, what? With the flashlight in hand? Oh, hold up. My chicken nuggies are ready. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, is the heat down? Hang on a second. Hey! We're reading Muppet Flashback. Putting on the heat. It's a little cold in here. All right. Yeah, I have a Discord server. It's in my link tree, which is in bio. Alright. Hang on. Give me a sec, I can put an invite link. There's the Discord invite. Alright. Anyway, they searched and searched for the screaming voice. With the flashlight in hand, Floyd's grandma flashed it everywhere until she saw a small little creature in the bushes. Floyd, I think we found it, she said. Floyd started tiptoeing toward the screaming child. As Floyd held out his hand, he started to whisper about to the screaming baby animal. The small infant looked at Floyd, still crying. Floyd came as close as he could get, with his grandma right behind him. Because he had not realized who Floyd was, the baby started crawling away from Floyd as he wailed. Floyd, with his hand still out, tried to be nice, but infant animal screams could not be handled. Floyd could not take it anymore. "Stop that crying!" He yelled. Baby animal grew silent, with tears running down his face. "Don't worry, kid. I'm nice. I'm Floyd Pepper. Are you okay? I can help you," he whispered. The baby child gasped when he heard Floyd's name. He remembered about what the fortune teller had said about Floyd and the rest of the band. The baby animal smiled and took Floyd's hand. Floyd pulled him out of the baby child. Pulled him out of the bushes, showed him to his grandma. "Can I keep him, please?" You just found like a random child in the bushes, and your first instinct is to just keep him like a puppy. His grandma looked doubtful, but then she said, "Why not?" "Alright, we have to tell your daddy about this first, and then we'll start sending out founded flyers with a picture of him on it." And Floyd smiled, and so did young animal. So what, they're just gonna keep him safe until somebody claims him? I mean, what kind of psychopath wouldn't do that? "Oh no, we're just gonna leave this baby we found in the woods. We're just gonna leave him. We're not gonna bother." Sure am. Wicked hungry. Alright. Anyway. The next morning, Grandma Bridget tended to little animal's kissed wound, while Floyd came to his father, a young, slim-looking man with a red mustache similar to adult Floyd Pepper's. He agreed on letting baby animal stay. Days went on, and no one responded to the found flyers. There was one lady named Laverne who had responded in the Muppet Storybook Case of the Missing Mother. This Laverne character is indeed Animal's mother. She took... They even give you, like, the expanded compendium that you can look up the lore in. She took Animal home with her, but thankfully her home was 1 block away, which meant that he could visit baby Animal whenever... Floyd could visit baby Animal whenever he wanted. Everyone was glad, especially the fortune teller. They put this person's name in there so many times, even after she had exited the story. Yeah, that's a good question. So she lost her kid, heard a kid screaming, didn't go check on the kid herself, but she lived next door the whole time. Also, it says there were several days before she responded to the flyer. It's like, what? Okay. Whew. Time went by. Animal was still a baby, and Floyd was still a small child. But ever since Floyd started hanging out with little Animal, he'd been introducing him to Floyd's friends. 6-year-old Dr. Teeth, 5-year-old Zoot, and 4-year-old Janice. Why do they all have to be different ages? At first they seemed sort of doubtful towards baby Animal, but then they learned to accept him, and in due time, they thought of young Animal as a valued friend, which is exactly what Floyd wanted. When Laverne was busy, she sent her young son to play with Floyd, which made them both really happy because a day with Floyd meant a day with Dr. Teeth, Zoot, and Janice as well. Man, that paragraph said so much nothing. Not a single valuable piece of information was conveyed. Well, I'm not gaming right now. I'm just live. I think they did restore my gaming lab though. Yeah, he was really just like meeting the word count. Anyway, then there was the day that Laverne brought baby. There was a day that Laverne brought baby Animal over, but little Animal was really dirty from playing in some mud, so Floyd thought it would be a crazy idea of cleaning baby Animal himself. He had never cleaned anyone but himself before, but he gave it a try. I have some serious concerns about child welfare in this universe. I mean, we're not learning anything about the bandmates, though. They're just like, these people exist, but we already knew they existed. That was established in the last chapter. It doesn't say anything about them, what their personalities are or anything. He brought Animal to his bathroom and turned on the water and put a bubble bath in it and watched as the water began to fill the tub. He had not realized that young Animal was already taking off his clothes. Uh-oh. What? Knowing what was going on. Knowing what was going on. When the tub filled, baby Animal jumped into it, not letting Floyd see anything he should not. The small child started splashing and laughing. Floyd thought this was cute, went to the bathroom closet and took out some shampoo and a circular bar of soap. He squirted shampoo onto his hands and started running him through young Animal's head. It was kind of irritating the way Floyd did it, but baby Animal said nothing. As Floyd washed little Animal's head, he rinsed his hand, took the soap off, and started bathing baby Animal's body. This is weird. Hang on. Yes, I did. The rice cooker? Yes, I got it. Thank you so much. That was so cool. I was on my fence. Oh my god, look, we got it. We got a rice cooker. I'm gonna eat so much rice now that because I hate cooking rice. I love eating rice, but it's hard to get it to cook right. Anyway. Anyway, he thought that was cute. He went to the bathroom closet, took out the shampoo, blah, blah, blah. Floyd washed his head, he rinsed his hand, took the soap out, and started bathing his body. The baby thought it felt soothing. Floyd was really proud of himself for doing something he thought he would never do. As he let baby Animal play in the bubbles, Floyd took his clothes to the washroom and placed them in the washer. When he returned, he found the most horrific thing. Whoa! Okay, it's about to get real. Yes, if you want to see it the right way, you had to go to Twitch. Twitch.tv/word and nerd. It's sideways because I have to charge my phone right now. Alright. He saw the tub's bubbles covered in blood. Young Animal's head had blood running down his face. Floyd stood there in complete horror. He wanted to scream hard, but if he did, he knew his grandma would be there in the room faster than the speed of light. I mean, why wouldn't you want your grandmother to be in the room? Like, this is definitely a call an adult situation. Instead, he immediately grabbed a towel, wrapped it around Animal's bloody face, pulled it out, and placed him on the bathroom counter. Floyd looked right on top of the baby scalp and noticed a long red cut where there was on top of it. Floyd suddenly became yeah, I guess Animal, but it's so weird. He became nervous and scared. He took a tissue and attempted to clean it, making him gasp in pain. He looked everywhere to try to find a bandage. When eventually he did, he tried to be as careful as possible. He carefully placed the bandage onto the cut, which eventually stopped the pain. Bandages don't stop pain, they stop bleeding. Young Animal smiled. And wait, what kind of, okay, what? Exactly, like, Animal, yeah, they keep saying he's a really small baby, but they already established that Floyd was like 5 at most. And then what happened that he has this like gash on his head that he's profusely bleeding from, and a bandage could somehow fix? Call your grandma, what are you doing? He smiled and jumped on Floyd, thanking him for it. Making sure the towel still covered his small body, Floyd carried him to his room, set him on his bed, and started throwing small clothes at him. Baby Animal took the small boxers, the shirt, and the pair of jeans he liked the most. When Floyd started to hear noises coming from Little Animal, he turned and noticed his friend was trying to slip on the clothes. Floyd walked over to him and helped him get on the clothes. Floyd was kind of uneasy, trying to help put the boxers on, so he made sure the towel still covered Animal's small body. I don't like all these details. Yes, as in the Muppet. We are reading a Muppet slasher fic. If you want to join us on Twitch. Anyway, so at first the thought of Floyd Pepper being back up. Okay, wait. Just make sure it still covered his body. Then, thank you for specifying that he didn't look at his junk. You just didn't need to bring attention to that at all. He then helped Animal get into his pants and then his shirt. When Baby Animal finally got the clothes on him, Laverne had come by to pick him up. Where is his mom most of the time? Like, these details. The author may have heard that leaving baby in a tub unattended was dangerous and didn't realize why, so they assumed head wounds. That's honestly probably a good theory because I do suspect this is a very young author. Okay, she was thrilled. When she and Floyd's grandmother had found out what Floyd had done to Little Animal, abandoned him and let him get a grievous head wound, they were pleased and happy. I guess they didn't have any questions about the gash on his face and the blood. Anyway. Okay. Thank you, Meaty Drumstick, for following. Put something on my head. No, I don't think that makes sense because, like, you were playing and you knocked him out. That's a little bit different than just coming across an injured child. I think that at that point you would just want an adult. I know when I was teaching, if a kid, like, got a nosebleed or something, there were 14 kids right next to me immediately, like, so-and-so's nosebleed. Okay, anyway. Blah, 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 blah. When Floyd's father found out, he was proud that Floyd was starting to become more like an adult and becoming sort of like a second mom to baby Animal. That is very what? He's 4. What the fuck? Talk about parentification. Eventually, he became used to the idea and just went with it. Sure, he did not think of himself as a second mom, but he did think of himself as a good friend, not only towards young Animal, but to his future bandmates as well. What a weird, unnecessary scene. I thought we were finally getting to the Animal being violent part, but this is still a lot of setup. More time had gone by, about 3 years. Baby Animal was now 4 years old. Floyd was 7, Janice was 7, Zoot was 8, and Dr. Teeth was 9. As these 3 years had gone by, the children who would be the Electric Mayhem, exactly, a second mom rather than a dad figure. I don't understand that either, but here we are. All right. Anyway, Floyd started learning the bass guitar when he was 5. Mayhem showed him how to play it, their own instruments. Floyd started. Okay, yeah. Janice started her lead guitar at 6. Zoot started the saxophone also at 6. These are definitely details I need. And Dr. T started to learn the keyboard when and piano at 7. The younger versions of these characters looked a little bit like they do as adults. Young Floyd wore a red short sleeve shirt, blue overalls, brown shoes, and his usual occasions. Oh, wait. Wait. Okay, I guess we're still good. Anyway, I like the implication that that this author was like, how will people ever understand that when people get older they like wear bigger clothes because their bodies are bigger if I don't like painstakingly explain why they're out, in which ways that their outfit evolved from their adult versions to their babies versions. Like they're like, oh, I need to understand that he doesn't have a baby bonnet when he's an adult, but he does when he's a baby. This is my backup. Excuse me. I'm on Twitch right now. Live. I'm reading a Muppet fanfic. Anyway, young Animal had a yellow shirt like he did as a baby, blah, blah, blah. When in his teenage years, he lost his white baby bonnet and short red curls and changed into longer. Okay. Young Zoot wore a gold shirt, similar to the shirt he wears as an adult, but the gold shirt he wore as a child had shorter sleeves, and he had no hat like he does as an adult. Being a young age, as he is now, he had long blue curly hair sat soundly on his head. He wore blue jean shorts that went down to his knees and gold sandals. He wore the same sunglasses he does as an adult. Young Janice looked exactly like she appeared in the Muppet Babies episode, Whose Tale Is It Anyway? She wore a lavender turtleneck, her pink vest, gold medallion, lavender shirt, gray bell, silver buckle, hair in the same ponytail type do with small pink bow, purple, white bracelets, but instead of wearing the gray sandals and the white socks, she wore pink socks and white shoes. Like his adult self, young Dr. Teeth had a blue, red, striped, long shirt and hat. The only difference was that the hat was not floppy on the top hat, but it was a pink cap and with the same feathers as the floppy top hat. The pink and silver stripes on his cap, the blue feather duck inside the strap. Unlike his adult self, Dr. Teeth was at a time in his life where he had to go through the hardest thing he ever had to go through. He had to wear braces. Oh, how young Dr. Teeth despised his braces. He would sometimes say that he wished his teeth were bracelets once more. He was going to make a gold tooth and wear it. Little did he know how right he was. Oh. Oh. Okay, hang on a second. Y'all can't hear. Damn it. Hey, can y'all hear me now? Is my internet still here? Alright, let me know. Can you hear me now? Thank you for the follow. Hopefully you can hear me thanking you. Can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me? Can anybody on Twitch hear me? I can't tell. This is not going well. I don't know what happened to the internet. I don't know what happened to the internet. What the hell? I don't know what happened to the internet. Still nothing. Can you hear me? No, I still don't think you can. This is such bullshit. Ugh.